Hello. Coffee and comments. It's been a little while. I've got a couple of hours to kill before work and I have to get ready, so I thought I'd get it done now. I was going to have maybe a coffee stout or something like that, but it's actually only like 10 to 9 in the morning and I'm in work at 12, so I'm not going to do that. Who am I? Tasting niche. Anyway, no disrespect to Tasting Niche, by the way. I just can't do morning beers. Even when I'm off, I've just never been able to do a morning beer. It just doesn't sit right with me. Anyway, so yeah. An update on the firmware of this phone has actually let me lock in exposure. So it's not just going to be dead bright, dead dark, dead bright, dead dark. And from over here, this setup doesn't look too bad. Yes, I am in bed because I've got no pants on, and I was too lazy to set up anywhere else. So yeah, got a nice batch of comments to get through. I've actually got a coffee this time. I've made the step not to drink coffee with milk, unless it's like because I've been to McDonald's a few times with friends from work recently, and McDonald's for some reason aren't able to do just like a black iced coffee. You have to have milk in it and like cream and like, do you know what I mean? It's nice, don't get me wrong, the iced latte is really damn good, but I just want a place near me where I can get a nice cold brew iced coffee. Is that too much to ask for? Really? But making your own is really quite good. Highly recommended that you look up a recipe and do it. But yeah, man. See, I was all about like the frappuccinos and stuff like that. Really sweet, packed full of flavour. I mean, basic bitch season's coming up soon, so I'm going to be all of those pumpkin spice and gingerbread frappuccinos. But I've been on a really big, just like iced black coffee kick. No sweetener. Maybe add an extra shot of espresso in there. And yeah, Starbucks pretty much avoid paying tax, but they sure know how to make a tasty damn coffee. But it's not a real coffee. I don't care. Tastes good to me. I'm comfortable giving my money to crooked capitalist billionaires for just a few minutes of enjoyment. So shoot me. Actually don't. So yeah. Coffee and comments. No idea what number this is. The last one I did went down well doing it live, but I just can't be bothered. Can't be bothered with anyone interacting with me at the moment, and oh well. So what a wonderful community based creator I am. A beer influencer is actually what I am. I'm not really. Nobody watches my stuff, and rightfully so. Anyway, let's get on with the comments. Got a few to go through, so yeah, if you're having a coffee while you're watching or you're having a beer, what are you drinking? Let me know in the comments, that sort of stuff. So, first comment is actually from the Coffee and Comments live stream. Actually, what number was that? No, it won't let me actually see the number of the video itself. First comment is from my good friend Rob from Hopscene, who says, "Loving how offensive you are being." Didn't realise I was being offensive. Can't remember anything that I said in that video, but I probably said some slightly distasteful off-kilter comments. But if you can't say it, then what a sad world you live in if you can't have a little bit of a laugh or say how you feel. Do you know what I mean? Life lesson. Next up, got a comment from James Rothwell. I'm not going to even attempt to say it. But James, thank you. Oh, and also, cheers, Rob. Got a few comments from Rob coming up, and I think got a few comments from James as well, so cheers to you both. He just writes, "You were there." I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but I definitely was, I think. And then he also comments on my review of In-Flight Entertainment, which was that lovely triple IPA from Cloudwater. I really enjoy triple IPAs. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about drinking. Well, it's like you can say that about every facet of life, but there's something really so satisfying about a well brewed, big, bold triple IPA. And so James says, I had this, loved it. Since friends and family, Cloudwater have been back to their best. Great review. Cheers, bud. And yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Paul from Cloudwater is like one of my favourite people within the beer industry, just because, yeah, he's, you know, Cloudwater probably the best or one of the biggest and best, you know, craft breweries in the UK, obviously known for their haze as well as many other styles. But, you know, there's no bullshit with him. There's reading his posts on Instagram, his thoughts and opinions, and, you know, talking about traditional styles and that sort of thing, and traditional brewing techniques. And yeah, it's just, he's my beer spirit animal. Do you know what I mean when it comes to craft beer? I hate saying that term, craft beer, but don't know why I went on a bit of a bromance about Paul from Cloudwater, but yeah, some of their beers I've had recently have just been, I can't do that clicking thing with your fingers, so I made a weird noise with my mouth. But yeah, I don't think I've really had a bad or boring beer from Cloudwater in the last 6 months maybe, and I'm just really glad that they're brewing stuff like consistently brewing lagers and that Doppelschwarz. I will never not mention that beer, because that was just a marvel to me. And I think they've actually got like a bourbon barrel aged version of that, which sounds pretty damn good. So hopefully I can get, I don't know if they're canned or put it in a big bottle or something like that. I'll have to look into that, because that sounds really damn nice. But yeah, Cloudwater, I definitely agree. I think for a while, when other brews are finding their feet with their hazy sort of IPAs, and Cloudwater went through that phase of just like naming beers like DDH, BBC, Cryo, Enigma. Do you know what I mean? And there was a point where you couldn't really differentiate beer to beer sometimes. But I think with something like that, there's always going to be a moment of not necessarily like being stagnant, but where you're not showing what you're really doing. I think everyone goes through a little bit of a lull. Doesn't matter if you're a brewery, doesn't matter if you're, you know, an illustrator, an artist, doesn't matter if you're, you know, you're making bao buns on a street corner. There's always going to be that like a month or so, a little spat where it's like, it's not really going right. I'm not really at my best. But yeah, definitely agree. Long-winded response to that question or comment, so I do apologise, but appreciate that. So the next comment is from my Clueless Eating video, which was also the in-flight entertainment, but I was having it with some ramen noodles, or ramen noodles as some people like to call them. It wouldn't surprise me if they are actually pronounced ramen now. I don't know. How do you pronounce ramen? I've always known them as ramen, and I've heard loads of people call them ramen. Is that just Western ignorance? I don't know. And Wildy, cheers for comment. He says, I like a little more liquid to slurp it. Don't we all? Don't we all? But yeah, I do like slurping on noodles. I love how messy you can get with ramen noodles. And I like that whole part of Asian culture when it comes to eating dishes like noodles. You do it over here and like people are like, oh, you pig. And it's like, no, I'm just enjoying my food. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a custom in a lot of countries to burp after a meal to show your appreciation, and I think that's good. We're so uptight. We are so fucking uptight here in the West, in the UK. But yeah, sometimes I like to have the actual soup base, but then sometimes I like to just cook the noodles in water, and while they're still moist noodle, put on the flavour and then just mix in, or mix the flavour, the soup base itself, with a bit of soy sauce and what's going on my hand, soy sauce and sesame seed oil with maybe a little bit of freshly squeezed grapefruit in there. Add some grapefruit next time you're making like an Asian cooking sauce or stir fry sauce. Really makes a difference. Not a life hack. I'm not saying I'm a pioneer, because I'm sure billions of recipes have grapefruit juice added to them for a sauce. But yeah, and then just let that coat them so you get a really rich, intense flavour. But what do I know? I'm giving you cooking advice on instant noodles. But yeah, so next comment, we're going back to in-flight entertainment. And I got a comment from a good friend of ours here on YouTube, Terry's Quick Beer Reviews. And he says, hello Clueless, or Mr. Clueless I should say. Hi Terry. I'm liking the sound of this one myself. Nice to see you've got that hair under control finally. Not so much now. Nice review mate, cheers. Oh, thank you bud, appreciate that. And I hope you're doing well, Terry. Hope everyone who's commented is doing well, and everyone who's watching this is doing well. Probably need a better place to put my coffee, but. And how much does this look like a cheap student accommodation? But oh well. But yeah, I was going to do a joke about like self-help, but not worth it. Next up, we've got a couple of comments from my good friend Rob again from Hop Scene. I think I literally died for a second. And these are on the mystery beer reviews, but I can't actually differentiate which mystery beers are because I've used the same thumbnail on all three of the recent mystery beer reviews, but it doesn't matter. It's about reading the comments. Let's see. So he says, I find it hard to pin down. I find it hard to pin down the ABV of a stout. Bit of a spelling error there, Rob, but won't hold it against you. Because the way I've been writing recently, try saying that little bit of a sentence 10 times when you're pissed. But yeah, the way I've been writing recently has just been absolutely atrocious. I think I'm actually devolving back into an illiterate child. But yeah, I find it hard to pinpoint the ABV of a stout. They could be huge, but they can never be lower ABV, especially when there are things added. I wonder if you'd had it, but checked if you'd reviewed it. Gonna have to grab the blue version of that t-shirt next time I'm near Manchester Union. Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. I think we've come to a point now where it comes. I find it hard to differentiate ABVs from a lot of styles now, because I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it's a sign of being a better brewer or whatever. But you know, like you're getting like triple IPAs that are drinking like a session IPA. You get an imperial stouts that are like drinking like a 4%, you know, dry stout. You're getting these really big, bold sours, and you're thinking, oh, it must only be about 4%. No, it's like about 12%. So I don't know if that's a skill or a sign of good brewing, but it can be very dangerous at times. Do you know what I mean? You can get definitely carried away when it comes to the ABV of a lot of styles, but especially stouts. I would definitely agree with that one. And then it must be from the same video, because the next comment is, looking forward to seeing the other two mystery beers. Two rather contrasting beers, bought them for very different reasons, but they should have got you scratching your head. And I think I did struggle with this recent batch of mystery beers, so you got me good. So next up, I've got a comment from Nobby Noble on my review of Greater Consumer Rights, which was the Northern Monk beer that they brewed, I can't remember, I think it was like in collaboration with a Spanish brewery for the Preachy Citizens of Everywhere project. Yeah, but interesting box of beers that from Beer 52 and the project as a whole, but we're not getting into the political pandering side of that. But anyway, moving on. And his comment is, it's a big one, and I like I like them when they're big. This is by far the worst, if they call it, beer ever. I planned to share a can with my mate last night. We were drinking Jaipur on tap and opened this stuff and split it into 2 glasses. We both looked and smelt the whatever in the glass smelt sour off, but we gave it a swig each and both of us had to spit it out bloody vile. Had to dump the glasses too. They were contaminated with the stink of rottenness and both our palates were ruined. We went back to my Jaipur on 70/30, but the first pint of that had bad lingering rotten flavours from our mouths being contaminated with this mouthful of the Northern Monk Greater Consumer Rights Citrus IPA. Yeah, it's not Northern Monk's finest hour. I actually thought it was somewhat pleasant, a little bit bland. I didn't get anything like what Nobby experienced with his can and his mate, but yeah, interesting to hear that. What did I have recently from Northern Monk that just really missed the mark? It was that Radler that they did with gotta walk on eggshells. Was it the Queer Beer Project from Lillywhite? I think that's who it was brewed in, or it was brewed in collaboration with Lillywhite. Who, if those of you don't know, is a trans woman in the industry. Very focused on inclusivity and things like that, which I think is a good thing. But yeah, that beer that I had from Northern Monk and them. So there's no onus on one brewery with that. See what I mean by walking on eggshells when it comes to mentioning anything to do with inclusivity and identity politics and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that it wasn't the finest hour, but I don't think it was as awful. Or I didn't experience a can as awful as that. It was just a bit boring and not what you'd expect from Northern Monk. And truth be told, I have not had a Northern Monk beer for absolutely ages. Since I had that Radler when I was in Manchester for the Beernomicon bottle share, name drop. But yeah, I've just not really been too excited by some of the beers that have been released. Because you all know, the Patrons Project is probably one of my favourite beer series right now, and Northern Monk are my favourite UK brewery, but I've not had anything for over a month. I'll have to rectify that. Might get myself a 4-pack of Heaven, I should say. But yeah, very sorry to hear you had that experience. And speaking of Jaipur, bought a 4-pack of that recently in cans, and I've got to say, I've never liked Jaipur. When I first tried it, I thought it was boring. The subsequent times that I've tried it, not really been too excited. Although I've heard it's really, 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 really good on cask. So I'll have to try it on cask. But in terms of cans and bottles, Jaipur just does nothing for me. Never has, and probably never will, to be honest. But from the sounds of it, you enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than the Greater Consumer Rights. But yeah, cheers for that comment, Nobby. So then we've got a comment in Russian, I think. Let me just look enough because I'm getting yeah, Russian. Go ahead, translate up anyway because I'm in the middle of getting stuff sorted because I'm going to Germany in October for a friend's wedding, and just wanted to make sure I was reading the invitation right, just in case there's stuff I need to do for when I'm there. But yeah, basically, I got a comment on the Lakinska. I can't even read the full name of the beer because of the title. But it was review number 428 if you want to search down. And I just got a comment, good beer. And I can't remember. I need to doing a little bit of a haul of like Eastern European, Baltic region lagers again, because there's a lovely shop on the way to work that has loads of snacks, loads of food, you know, because we do have a big populace of Eastern European people in Skelmersdale, which, if people have a problem with that, you're an idiot, quite frankly. Why do people whine about multiculturalism? What is wrong with a town or city being multicultural? As long as they can maintain the identity of that town and city. Yeah, people always go on about like, oh, London, London's not the same. London is still very British. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it might have communities within London, but we've still got Big Ben. We've still got the House of Parliament. We've still got these historical buildings. Do you know what I mean? And when it comes to the food, culture in general, alcohol, what's wrong with opening your mind a little bit? So yeah, I'm all for it. But I don't know, why am I going on these like quasi-political rants and stuff? I don't know. But yeah, thank you for the comment. And photo is of a lovely looking bulldog. Or is that a pit bull? Can't tell, the icon's really quite small. So then we've got a few more comments from Rob on the next mystery beer. So he says, from the aroma you said IPA, raspberry and peach. I knew that would be a good mystery beer. A bit of head scratcher. You do like your fruited IPAs. That I do. He also said, style and can artwork were the main reasons I picked this for you. Thought it would put a smile on your face. I can't remember what the actual beer was now, even though that comment was only like from a week ago. And then next comment is probably on a different, on the third and final one. He says, glad you enjoyed the selection. I really did. I really genuinely did. I love mystery beers. Even if I get it completely wrong and make myself look like an utter knob, it's fun. And it's a good way to test your palate. Also got a comment from Paul on one of the mystery beers, PA Brew News. He says, we know this almost 100 years ago and no one did anything. If the fucking Christians didn't burn down the Library of Alexandria, we would have been light years ahead in the world and the earth would have been much better off. We'll leave that one there, shall we, Paul? Because I've no fucking clue what that is in reference to, but I appreciate the comment anyway. Next up, we've got a comment on the Lager Rauchbier from Brauerei Spezial in Bamberg. No need to do a German pronunciation there, Peter. I just pronounce it normally and sound not like a try-hard. And I got a comment from a fellow German beer enthusiast who's Scottish. He likes German beer. Could have staged that sentence a bit better. Rampant Line Reviews, James. And he says, still can't believe you didn't have that in Germany. Sacrilege. Certainly is. Glad to see you get round to it, though, and glad you liked it. I'm waiting for you to give me an excuse to go to Germany. Some collaboration out and about reviews are needed. Winky face. We do definitely need to organise something. It's probably going to be next year now. Because I do plan to go away after I've been to Germany again, because I've got like shit tons of holiday hours at work that I need to use. But I'm thinking like having a weekend in Italy, maybe have a weekend in Paris, fall in love with a local Parisian. No, that won't happen. But what am I, in a fucking Fellini film? But yeah, we need to get something sorted for Germany. And yeah, Rauch beers are my jam. Love smoky beers. Love smoked malts. More breweries need to brew them. And Joe Gansel, a regular commenter, responds to that question. That comment, keep saying question. That would be cool. It certainly would. We have to get something arranged, James, if you're watching, but we message anyway. So yeah, do appreciate that. Then we've got from review 570, which was a Golden Fleece, I think it was. Can't remember what the brewery's called. And this comment from, it's Dent Brewery. What would that be? But yeah, we've got a comment from Liquid Badger 06, and he says, Dent Village is in the county of Cumbria, but it's still a national park of the Yorkshire Dales. That's the reason for the odd looking address. Both are correct though. Thank you. I appreciate that tidbit. Always good to know. And appreciate the comment, Liquid Badger. So then got a couple more comments on the Rauch beer. First one is from Joe Gansel. Nice review. We'll have to see if I can find this beer in the States. Cheers. I'm sure they will export that beer to America because of just how popular the Schlenkerla smoked beers are. So I'm sure you'll be able to find it. And also got a comment from Basement Broham, who says, label and colour looks quite similar to Echt Schlenkerla Rauch beer. Rolled the R then, fancy. Yeah, it did. I love that sort of traditional looking artwork, and the colour schemes of those styles of beers are just lovely. So I appreciate that comment. Let's see. So then I got a comment from Matt Barker on my review of the double dry hopped juicy IPA from Untitled Art and Microphone Brewing. And he says the best supermarket pizzas are Tesco fresh pizzas. We'll have to try that because I've recently discovered Asda's make yourself pizzas, and for £3.50 for 14 inches. Meat feast, mate. Meat feast. But yeah, I'll definitely have to try that next time I'm doing a bit of a beer haul in Tesco. Get some nice craft beer, maybe hopefully pick up another few cans of Cloudwater versus Brewdog. Get myself a pizza. That's my evening sorted. Oh, I'm off on Saturday. I wonder what I'm doing. Saturday's tomorrow, actually, as I'm recording this one. Who knows when this might actually get uploaded. And I'm getting really sweaty legs right now. But cheers for the comment, Basement Broham. Matt Barker. So, next comment is going all the way back to review number 30 for the Wolf Rock Pale or IPA. I can't remember what it was, but from Sharps. And got a comment from the Hog 31604, Easy Drinker. From what I remember, it is a solid, easy drinking beer. So next up, I've got a comment from my Beer Bay, Blue Nose Beer Reviews, who hooks a brother up with some American Haze every fucking 6 months because I'm too stingy to buy regularly. And this is my review of the Double Ganger, which I stupidly refer to as, I think, literally Doppelganger. And Harry just kindly and maturely corrected me. He says, Double Ganger, you mongoloid. You know how to speak to a person, don't you, Harry? And then he also comments on the Rauch beer review and says, dirty foreign smoked brown ales. My circle, ladies and gentlemen, my circle. Got 2 more comments left. Next one is from Travis Harper on the Wild Bills IPA. He says, do you know if it's sold in the USA? I'm in Ohio and we have lots of craft breweries here. Considering it's a really quite old IPA, and I'm not too sure if it's still brewed or if it's brewed under a different name, but I know that Aldi has become a lot more popular nationwide in America. So you might find something quite similar, but I don't think you would, because it's a British brewery who's doing it for. But I'm sure there'll be something comparable. Plus, if you're in Ohio, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because from what I've heard of the brewing scene in Ohio and the insane amount of like bottle shops and stuff like that, I think you should be okay. But yeah, it was one of those like just throwaway enjoyable beers. But I do appreciate the comment anyway, Travis. Always great to get opinions from across the pond. And then the last comment is from someone called Odden, which is thumbnails essentially a frog stood up all proud on a beach. What a way to live. And going back to my review of the Guinness Extra Stout, which I had 4 cans of that recently, and it was really damn good. It seems fizzy to me. It probably was overcarbonated, to be fair. But yeah. So, I appreciate the comments, Odden. From this point on, I'm not going to do that thing where I say, oh, go check out everyone who's commented. Quite frankly, because I'll say it and I'll forget to do it and I'll look like a tit. But that's a lot of dust. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one who comments on my videos, especially going all the way back to older ones. It's nice to know that there's longevity in some of the videos that I have. As you've been noticing on the channel, slowing down the releases of reviews. In fact, I've slowed down the amount of beers that I've reviewed. In fact, I've slowed down kind of when it comes to the actual consumption of beers. So yeah, I think that's such a better rhythm for the channel, although I've got Supermarket Week coming up, which is a review every day, but once I've done that, I'm going to go back to that. One review every 2 days, or if I've got like 2 beers from the Mikkeller Beer Club that I need to review, then I'll have one in the morning, one in the evening. Or if I've got 2 beers from the same brewery, then I'll do that. Or if, you know, sometimes if I've got a beer that's, although I don't really want to be one of those ones who just reviews new stuff and uploads it there and then, so I can get, oh, the hype's there, big, you know, bunch of shallow views at the end of the day. Not that there's anything wrong with people capitalising on new releases. And I know it's been effective for a lot of people to upload the recent Tesco beers pretty much the day they buy them. I mean, they've been out for like a couple of weeks now. And I'm only just uploading my series next week. In fact, I do actually have to go to Tesco's tomorrow, because I need to buy a couple more. So I've got a week's worth of reviews. Only one vibration on this video, which is always good. Should set myself to airplane mode when I record, actually. But oh well. So yeah, thank you for the comments, each and every one of you who has done so. And yeah, coffee and comments number whatever this is. It's now 9:25, so I better start getting ready. Anyway, cheers guys, and you all take care.